The feds are capturing Moneybagg Yo Hitman because when they looked through his phone, when the ambulance came up and they held him down until they did, they seen the last two people that he called 5 minutes ago to meet up with them in the car that they jumped out of. And so that's why they're going to go after the other people, because they know that he was not the only one. And so this is the reason why Key Glock said he ain't had nothing to do with it. CEO Daddy-O said that he was not involved in anything at all from this, because a lot of people already thinking that this has some type of direct connection to the young Dolph incident, because a lot of people already knew and was talking about how it was already some other person that got hit up. Govan just got released, and it's a lot that's tied back to the beef between CMG, Young Dolph, Yo Gotti, and everything like that. And if y'all rocking with Young Dolph, go ahead and comment the dolphin emoji in the section and let us know where you from, because with this whole thing, when they asked Big Moochie Grape about where he was, because now they asking every single person that might had issues with Moneybagg Yo or Yo Gotti, they asking every single one of them where they was at, what's their alibi. And so when they asked Big Moochie Grape, he started looking around, didn't want to comment, nothing like that. So it was the same thing as that last interview that we all seen, where he couldn't answer none of the questions correctly and he was itching and scratching and everything like that. And so people get nervous. He already knows that it's going to be a lot of eyes on everybody in PRE, and a whole lot of eyes on if somebody from CMG or Moneybagg Yo's people is going to actually try to go and get revenge and get back, because everybody already thinks that this whole thing was revenge for Young Dolph. So nobody is sitting easy right now. There's a lot of people who are like, man, I can't believe they try to touch Moneybagg Yo. And then there's a lot of people that are saying, like, if that dude was actually trying to get revenge for Dolph, he didn't do anything, because he ended up being the one that had something happen to him. And that's just the sad reality of things, whether it was revenge or whether it was them people just took it upon themselves, or they had their own outside beef with Moneybagg Yo, or even maybe one of his artists. They made the wrong decision because they tried to pull up on them. They thought 3 out of the 4, they knew that 3 of the guys were not paying attention and were looking at the other way, because they're waiting for the lady with the drinks to come back from ordering the appetizers. They're sitting in the VIP front patio, and everybody knows that if you sitting at the front patio, that means anybody could pull up on you and they could throw something, they could yell, they could say anything or do anything. So that's why it's not a good idea if you got millions and millions of dollars, if you got ops and you have enemies, and you could be targeted for any type of situation like that, whether getting robbed, chain snatched, or any type of revenge from Young Dolph or the cookie shop, because they had a restaurant. And so that's why they should have had the table be moved to the inside back corner, because then it's not near the door. And but if the dudes ended up, if Moneybagg Yo sat on the inside of the restaurant and the dudes ended up coming in, it might have been a whole different story, because that's exactly what they tried to do at Yo Gotti's restaurant just last month at Privé, when the people came in at that time. But this one was like an argument that started on the inside that they took to the outside, but they still had to know how the people got there. They still had to have gotten the information about Yo Gotti's cousin being there, and then them thinking that Yo Gotti was actually going to pull up and was going to be present is what made them show up to the place too. But when they found out Yo Gotti wasn't there, they could only argue with his cousin and everything. So when they said to take it outside, they seen that as a sign that it was about to go down. And so that's why everything just happened like a blur at that. And now it was even faster. The situation with Moneybagg Yo and his artists, they had no time to react. The dudes already planned this and plotted it, as they were already watching them for the whole day. As soon as they seen them check in for the reservation, they were already waiting right by in that parking lot, just parked, waiting for the right moment until they get seated, because they know that restaurant. Everybody in Memphis knows that restaurant. And they know that if you got any type of money, or if you want to be in the VIP or anything like that, then they're going to sit you up in the front patio. So these dudes knew exactly what was going on. They knew the whole thing about how the restaurant worked, inside and out, the staff, the cooks, the seating procedure, and the order of events on everything happens. They knew this because they were trying to get Moneybagg Yo and his crew at a restaurant, just like how people got Dolph at the restaurant. And so that's the clue to keep things in mind, because everything is a revolving door situation. You just got to open your eyes and look at the fact that it's the same thing. They keep trying to catch him at the food places, at the restaurants, sitting in the VIP outside. So since these dudes knew how it worked, they knew that it was the perfect timing for them to pull up, but they did not anticipate the fact that the other dude was actually there, and he's gonna do what he needs to do because he gotta make it home and feed his kids at the end of the day. So the people that's around Moneybagg Yo, they might have nothing to do with the Yo Gotti beef. They might not have anything to do with the young Dolph. And so when they see somebody running up on them, all because they want to go after Moneybagg Yo and Yo Gotti, then they understand that they taking a risk just by being with them and everything. And so the man, Tripstar, he had to do what he had to do. Condolences to everybody on both sides, on everybody involved. Condolences to young Dolph. I know a lot of y'all are young Dolph fans out there, and he's still trying to get a lot of justice for young Dolph. But it's coming because now because of this happening, they're going to go deep dive and question everybody now because they're sick and tired of having the community have to go through this where every other week, every other day is something that happens, and it always is the usual suspects, it's the usual people that's involved, whether it's the rappers or John Morant, Yo Gotti, Moneybagg Yo, Big Moochie Great, Key Glock, Daddy-O, 901 Trigger Trade, Makedas Raven, the list goes on and on and on. And so basically with all of those people, they're going to have to go and figure out, do they know the guys that pulled up on Moneybagg Yo's restaurant, at Yo Gotti's restaurant? Do they know the dude that Tripstar hit up and sent up? Because if they do know him and if they have recent communication, they're going to be able to pull the T-Mobile phone records and see exactly who they talked to and see if they was actually talking about running up at that restaurant. And once they get the whole Ring doorbell camera from the next door, they're going to see exactly, zoom in so they can catch the plates because they on the lookout for the two other people that roll with the guy. Because there's no way that dude came up there alone. He got dropped off in a car. The car was not a self-driving car. So that means there was somebody in the driver's seat at the minimum. And from the way that the witnesses was talking and said that he could have exited the back of the vehicle. So it could have been somebody riding in the front seat and the passenger. And so that could be the two people that they still looking for, because right now they doing a manhunt. They setting up checkpoints all across airways, all across basically all the highways of Memphis so that they could catch the two people so they don't get away with what they did to, try to run up on Moneybagg Yo. Even though one of the dudes got sent up, they still responsible for all of this. And so that's why that whole thing, that case could get put on them. That whole body could get put on them because of the fact that they plan to run up and try to take Moneybagg Yo's chain or do whatever it is that they was trying to do. And that's where they went wrong. Even if they ran away from it, they still actually are responsible for everything that went down due to the fact that they came with the dude that got hit up, and their all intentions was basically not to eat at the restaurant, but to, cause a scene or cause some trouble. And so that's where all the lawyers and the DA and everybody's going to look at this, and they're going to make a decision on what's about to happen. So stay tuned for the update. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to catch y'all later.